Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, respected all. I'm Selma Rizvanovic-Mandal from Istanbul Sabahat Nizami University from Turkey. My paperwork is named Zakah-Led Green Finance. Climate change is the world's greatest environmental threat, resulting from harmful human behavior and economic activities. If an urgent transition for global fossil fuel projects to renewable energy projects will not be accomplished in the near future, this climate change could endanger food production, biodiversity, human health, survival of many species. SDG agenda of 2030 for sustainable development has set 17 sustainable development goals to be accomplished starting from 2015, and 7 out of them are cover environment sustainability. These SDGs are firmly in line with Maqasid-al-Sharia or Sharia objectives. The preservation of 5 essentials in Maqasid-al-Sharia provides the basis for green finance, hence the preservation of maslaha or public interest of the global community. Zakah, in view of Maqasid-al-Sharia, is an efficient tool for achieving sustainable development, especially in the context of Muslim majority countries. Although there is evidence that concept of environmental sustainability is in line with the Maqasid-al-Sharia, and Zakah is Islamic philanthropy for achievement of this sustainable development. There is a few studies that focus on Zakah utilization for achieving SDGs, and hardly any study that examine the legal framework for Zakah-Led green finance. Therefore, the research objective of this paperwork is to examine the legal framework for Zakah-Led green financing by discussing the interlinkages between Maqasid-al-Sharia, SDGs, green finance, and Zakah, and to explore the Zakah potentials for green finance development, especially in the Muslim world, by identifying the underlying objectives, compatibility, and flexibility of Zakah to accommodate the modern frameworks. And final, to provide insight into the practical implementation of Zakah-based green financing through a case study of the Indonesian Zakah institutions. It adapts a qualitative approach using case study and descriptive as a research method and descriptive approach. Review of literature, reports, and books relating to green finance, Zakah, and Maqasid-al-Sharia are examined. The literature is thematized into 3 groups: green finance, Maqasid-al-Sharia, and Zakah categories, and green finance. Analysis of theoretical and practical framework for Zakah harnessing in achieving environment sustainability is the final step. Shifting towards economic activities that deliver a good balance between economic, environmental, and social objectives and provide sustainable development with positively affect the environment protection and increase the community's welfare. It is defined as achieving economic growth while reducing pollution and greenhouse gas emission, minimizing waste, and reforming efficiency in the use of natural resources. There are 2 global partnerships that have contributed to the rise of global awareness in environmental protection. The first is Paris Agreement, and the second is the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, as a consensus between 193 UN members that commit themselves to its achievement starting from 2015. It's a partnership of the public, private, and social sector to build a more inclusive, sustainable, and resilient future for humankind. The UN nations estimation warned that there is $1.5 trillion annual gap for achieving the SDGs. Islam prescribes that humans have responsibility toward the environment, as it is a legacy of humanity for the present and future generations. And both the Quran and the Sunnah emphasize that the environment must be cared for, and natural resources should not be wasted. The five necessities of Maqasid al-Sharia are preservation of faith, life, intellect, progeny, and wealth. And it has three levels of interest, maslaha, namely necessities, needs, and embellishment. The aims of green finance can be related to the level of daruriya or necessities. And these five essentials provide the fundamentals for green finance. Hence, the prevention of environment degradation is part of maslaha or public interest enshrined in Maqasid al-Sharia. Zakah is a multidimensional institution, and there are 8 categories of eligible Zakah recipients defined in the Quran. Major role of Zakah is poverty alleviation, and studies show there is a link between poverty and environmental degradation. So Zakah towards poverty alleviation contribute positively, directly and indirectly to reducing pollution and environmental degradation. In the context of Muslim majority country, Zakah has great potential for green finance and thus cannot be underestimated. Zakah scholars have suggested Zakah investments for many reasons under conditions. Zakat can be redirected to green investments for empowerment of the underprivileged communities, financing green projects aiming to improve the quality of life of these communities. Maqasid al-Sharia can be used as a common underlying principles for this collaboration. Indonesia has institutionalized the strategic role of Zakah, setting a Zakah law, providing the legal authorization for these Zakah institutions such as Basnas and Rumah Zakah Indonesia. Environment sector is a part of their development programs. By issuing fatwa, the Zakah utilization for development of clean water and sanitation facilities have been empowered. Basnas has 7 grant programs, and according to studies, these programs are in correlation with the SDGs. And one study conducted by Khalifa has shown that the pillars of environmental development are among the top priorities among them. One innovative project is implemented in 2018, providing clean water and sanitation for 40 households. Other project is done through a partnership between UNDP and Basnas, financing the installation of micro hydropower plants that brought electricity to more than 4,500 people. Rumah Zakah Indonesia has also empowerment programs that incorporate environment as its sector. They are run mostly in rural areas and targeting to improve the quality of life and reduce environmental related social problems. These kind of programs that are conducted in hundreds of these empowered villages in 2018, such as independence sanitation post, trash bank, and water and sanitation for all. As a conclusion, most of the SDGs related to environmental sustainability are firmly in line with Maqasid al-Sharia and the Zakah objectives. Therefore, there is a good scope for Zakah institutions in Muslim countries to incorporate green finance in their development programs. The potential of Zakah should be recognized and incorporated into the development programs of all Muslim countries. For acceleration of this Zakah utilization for green finance, Islamic fiqh institutions should provide legal framework for more extended harnessing. There is a literature gap in examining the Zakah potential for green financing. So this paper adds original value on the literature. Future studies should focus on identifying the necessary key drivers for supporting long-term Zakah green investments and proposing the structure of Zakah-led green finance, which can be considered essential for its growth. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present my paperwork. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.